A comment on my last video really made me stop and think. One of the subscribers wrote, why not just invest in India through an MSCI India ETF instead of dealing with these NRE accounts? Honestly, that's genuinely a smart question. I get to hear from them all the time. In the next 11 minutes, I'm going to give you the complete picture that works whether you earn in pounds or in dollars, the real pros, the hidden cons, and exactly how I would approach investing in India as an NRI in 2026. Stick with me till the end because this could save you from a very expensive mistake. Hi, I'm Will. I've been working and living in the UK as an NRI for the past 15 years. During my career, I've worked as a financial analyst for major corporations like Thomson Financials and Reuters, where I spent years working on professional platforms such as DataStream and Thomson One Analytics and WorldScope. I've seen how global market actually works from the inside, and I've made the same investing mistake that many NRIs make. Let's be fair first. Investing in India through an ETF does have some real advantage, especially for busy NRIs like you and me. Whether you live in London, New York, Australia, anywhere around the world, when it comes to such ETF, you can buy this directly from your broker themselves. Like here in the UK, you have the Hargreaves, Lansdowne, you've got the AJ Bells, and for the US folks, you've got the Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard. And the beauty of this, you don't need to open an NRE account. No PIS permissions and much less paperwork. And there is no repatriation risk as well. You still get the exposure to the same big Indian companies like the Reliance, HDFC, TCS, you name the ones. They're all part of this ETF. The convenience is massive. And as an NRI, it's an absolute no-brainer because all you got to do is click that button and this ETF is in your basket and you've started your investment. But this is where most NRIs stop thinking. And this is the point where all the cost starts creeping in. I'm going to give you 3 major risk factors that you need to be considering while planning to invest in this ETF. First, currency risk. This is an absolute deal breaker and it is very real. Even if you buy the ETF in pounds and in dollars, the underlying companies that are investing in this ETF is based on rupee. And when the rupee weakens, which it has always been doing for the last 15 years, it always goes down by 3 to 4% year on year against pound and dollar. And it's been happening for decades. So your 12% return in rupees often becomes somewhere close to 8 to 9% in actual currency. Second, concentration risk. Buying an MSCI India ETF means you're 100% exposed to one single market. And India has been absolutely volatile. The Sensex and Nifty has been swinging between 18 to 20% every single year. When it comes to globally diversified ETF, this completely smooths out that ride dramatically. The third, return expectation versus the reality. Now, people keep saying India will give you 15% return. And on paper, Sensex or the stock market, Nifty, has been delivering between 12 to 13% in rupees over the last 10 years. But after you convert that into your local currency, most NRIs in the UK, US have actually seen close to 8 to 9%. Meanwhile, a global ETF like Vanguard FTSE All World has been delivering between 9 to 10% year on year. And this return comes to you in pounds and dollars over the same period of time with much less volatility. Now, if you're someone who's read the book called The Psychology of Money, the author Morgan Housel puts it rightly. Doing well with money isn't necessarily about what you know. It's how you behave. Over-concentrating in one country is one of the most common behaviors that quietly hurts long-term wealth. And I've seen this personally because I have been one of those investors who have quietly put all my investment into one single country's performance. Now, here's the balanced approach that every NRI should consider, whether you're earning in pounds, euros, or dollars. It doesn't really matter. Invest up to 50 to 60% into a globally diversified ETF. This will become your global core, and you invest it through a tax sufficient account. For UK, you'd have the ISA account, and the ETF that you would have to pick is the Vanguard FTSE All World. And for folks in the US, use your Roth IRA or 401k and invest it into the same global ETF. The next 25 to 35%, this becomes your India satellite portfolio. And using your stocks and shares ISA account or 401k or Roth IRA, buy this ETF called the MSCI India ETF. And once you have maxed out your allowances for that particular year, then you could possibly think about using and investing through your NRE account into mutual funds directly in India. And the remaining 10 to 15%, set that aside as cash, or you can put it aside for bonds or pensions for stability. You can build this and make it into an emergency fund so you can rely on it when there is some sort of an emergency or you're absolutely in a cash crunch situation. And this split works beautifully on both sides of the Atlantic. You still capture India's growth when it actually shines, but you're also protecting when the rupee weakens for India. And when India has a bad year, you're protected because you're globally diversified. And I've seen this particular scenario play out in real life. One of my friend who I know went almost 100% into India in 2022. Now, this is great when India is doing exceptionally well, but when things go south, the volatility hits absolutely hard. And he actually felt it because when he needed the money, he was stuck because his returns were negative. Whereas another friend of mine invested through the core and satellite approach, and he came out actually on a positive territory. He was well balanced, so he had a good return of close to 4 to 5% when compared to negative return from the other friend. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are someone who strongly believes in India's potential growth, putting aside, say, 25 to 35% in your portfolio within India ETF is actually a smart move. And I do not discourage you from, going in and investing in India. The mistake isn't investing directly in India. The mistake is going all in on India. The best approach that I would suggest right now is make sure you max your tax advantage account. That is, whether it is your ISA allowance in the UK or your Roth IRA or 401k in the US. Put the bulk of it in a globally diversified ETF such as the Vanguard FTSE All World, and then add a meaningful but not a very dominant India allocation. That way you can mitigate your risk. And finally, make sure you automate all of this. The beauty of building wealth is your investment should work automatically in the background without even you touching it ever. The biggest benefit of this balanced approach isn't even in the extra return. It's the peace of mind. When India has a rough year, the majority of your portfolio is still working in pounds and dollars. That emotional stability is worth more than chasing the higher return, which people get promised all the time. So bottom line is this. So yes, India ETF are absolutely useful, but they are not the complete solution like many people think they are. The real winning strategy for an NRI isn't choosing India, UK, or the US. It's making sure that you use them all in the right order and the right balance. So don't chase 15% return on the paper. Make sure you build your wealth that survives every currency depreciation and tracks the market movement and protects your wealth in a long term. Thank you for watching. And I'm genuinely curious how you're investing your money as an NRI living abroad. Are you putting all your money into a single ETF? Are you diversifying like the way I've just explained? Or are you investing through your NRE account? Drop your comments below. I read every single one of them and I make sure that I can respond to all of them. And if you're an NRI trying to figure out where your money should actually work, please consider subscribing to the channel because this is exactly what we break down here step by step. And in the next video, I'll show you my exact portfolio allocation that I personally use, including the ETFs that I am invested currently and how I automate everything. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you there.